Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. I first heard about the Masters of Wisdom from my guitar teacher back when I was in high school, and it was back in the late 80s. And the gentleman's name was Robert Newton. And I remember a couple things about it. One is he introduced me to the author Yogananda. And if you're familiar with Yogananda, he was a guru and devotee, but he was a guru of sorts. But he really brought to the Americas the idea of the masters from the East. Now, his masters, the Master Babaji and stuff, were masters, but their work is somewhat different than the masters that I'm speaking about, the hierarchy. They're on the same team, and they're working toward the transformation of the planet by, in the same way, but their function is different. And Yogananda had a lot of experiences, and he chronicled in this book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And I remember seeing it on my guitar teacher's table, and I just inquired about it, and we started talking about it, and I don't even think we even picked up our guitars at that point, we just talked about it the whole time. And I really just found it so fascinating. And then he introduced me to Alice Bailey, and I started reading about this and asking him a lot of questions about this stuff. But the one thing about this guitar teacher that I remember was my first guitar lesson with him. He did something that was totally different than what I used to do when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, I used to smash bugs. In fact, I was called the Mad Masher. My dad he coined that phrase in my family, because I used to just kill bugs on a whim, right? And I remember sitting there for my first guitar lesson with this man, and he's talking, and I was just really just struck by how loving of a person he was. And this moth came into the room, and he stopped what he was doing. He went over and he captured it gently and opened the door and let it out. And it was so different than the way I was used to doing it. I would have just smacked the crap out of it and killed it, But I really learned a lot from it. And I tried to be more of a loving person after I saw Robert demonstrate that for me. And I say all this to say I had a really weird, it wasn't a Maitreya experience. It was actually the Master Jesus. And I was, some years after that, I was in a friend of mine's apartment, and we were eating something. I think it was for a birthday party, because I remember we had paper plates, and I had some cake or something. It must have been a party or a gathering or something. And I see this moth flying around. And I don't know why I thought this, but I thought to the moth, I said, if I see you're wanting to get out, if you want to get out. And I remember this whole experience that I had with my guitar teacher, Robert. So like I said, I was trying to learn from it, trying to be a better person because of it. So I remember thinking to this moth, I said, if you want to get out, land somewhere, and I will promise you I won't harm you. I will let you out. And within seconds, it flew and it landed right on my knee. And I went, okay. So I gently scooped it out, and I opened the door, and I remember my friend, what are you doing? I said, I'm just letting a moth out. He said, why don't you just kill it? I said, no, I can't kill it. And I opened it and I let it go, right? And then I was sitting there, and then a fly landed on me. So I said, okay, well, maybe you want to get out. And usually flies are really skittish, right? So they usually get away as fast as possible, right? So I reached my hand, and it didn't move, and I grabbed it, and I let it out. Same thing. He was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm now letting a fly out. He said, what do you mean you're letting first you let a moth out, now you let a fly out? He goes, that's crazy, right? And then I kid you not, I had the plate on the floor, and a roach came up from underneath his couch and went right to the plate. And I went, I'm not going to lie, I'd usually kill you, Mr. Roach, but okay, I'll let you out too. So I went and I didn't touch it, but I kind of pushed it out with the plate, Then of course I threw the plate out, right? And some years after that, Benjamin Creme was talking about this experience he had with a horse, where the horse was crying, and because the horse was in this pen, and he just felt so sad for this horse, right? And he was talking about how animals can communicate and all that kind of stuff and emote and stuff. And I told him about this experience. I was just telling him about this experience. I wasn't even asking him to see if it was a master experience. And he goes, well, I don't know about the roach, but the fly, he goes, the moth and the fly were manifested by the Master Jesus as a lesson to you. And I just remember going, that is so strange. But I really learned after that to try to be a little kinder to bugs even. You know, you got to be kind to everybody. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.